Hi guys. Alrighty, so I'm going to chat with you really quick about social media. So don't overcomplicate this. Number one, I think so often we paralyze ourselves because we think we have to be these like experts before we can take a step. When it comes to social media and something like this, it's all about being yourself. So the first thing I want you to do is take a second and think about maybe 3 to 5 things that you enjoy doing, maybe that just values that are really important to you, and I want you to think about what is it that you really want to improve on here, that you really want to speak to, a mission that's really close to you. For me personally, that has something to do a little bit with like the mental transformation as well, overcoming anxiety. So that's something that I share about. Therefore, the thing that I want to get over most, if I'm sharing about that and I'm growing through that myself, I'm going to have a story to tell along the way. So that's why I ask you to think of those things, because our social media is not meant to just immediately turn into fitness and nutrition and all of these motivational quotes. It's supposed to turn into a billboard of you. And I don't just mean selfies, I mean what makes you you, like what are the things that you love? What are the things that your friends love about you? And I say that because a lot of times who you work with in this business are going to be people so very similar to you, and people that you're going to just fall in love with because they're going to end up being your tribe. If you tell your true story, they are going to relate to you and they're going to want to work with you. Now, what I mean by story, that could be who were you before this? Talk about maybe some of the struggles that you faced. Talk about what made you get involved with these programs or this coaching opportunity. Talk about some of the things that you've overcome. You can talk about who you are now. How do you feel? What has changed? What is it that is just blooming inside of you? And that sounds kind of weird, but I mean it, because I wake up every day and I'm like, I can't believe I'm just becoming this new person, this exciting new version of myself every day, because I'm creating somebody. I'm not just, walking along this like deadbeat path that I feel like I have to be on. So talk about that self-discovery and that journey that you're going on with all of this. Whether it's your fitness, your mentality, how is this helping your wealth? How is this helping your emotional stability? This is your story. And I want you guys to just know that it matters. Don't try to share what you think every single person needs to hear, because you'll never be able to reach the people who truly need you. Speak to the people who you can relate to. Speak to what you would have needed to hear whenever you were at your lowest and you needed inspiration. Speak to, people who, and tell them where you're going. Tell them what you want, because if they want those same things, they're going to come on that train with you. So, my advice for just starting out is, yes, this is going to eventually feel so natural to you. I'm not kidding you guys. All of this will feel a little uncomfortable at first, and you have to give it the grace. You have to give it a chance, because it's just like that workout. It felt really uncomfortable, I bet, the first week or even the first month. But as you work into that habit, it becomes so much more familiar. So understand that it's not going to feel comfortable to share some of these things, and that's why I'm here, that's why your team is here, that's why we're reading personal development, that's why we're growing this, right? So you can break free from those things and move forward. But do give yourself a little bit of a plan. So, maybe you have a little time on a Sunday and you can plan out your week and say, okay, on Monday, I'm going to talk about what motivated me. On Tuesday, I'm going to talk about maybe a transformation that I felt. And on Wednesday, I'm going to talk about some of the impact that the women that I'm, going through this with are having on me. Give yourself a little bit of an idea and keep a bank of thoughts and notes. That way, maybe ahead of time, you can write down your posts. You can start brainstorming what you want to talk about. Because the worst thing, and I do this to myself sometimes too, is getting to the point feeling like you have to share. Because then it's going to feel forced, it's going to feel kind of fake and inauthentic, and that's not what we want, because you're amazing, and the world needs to see the real you. So don't make this a stressful thing, make this an exciting thing. I'm telling you, if you wake up every day and you're like, how can I inspire that person that needs it today? How can I change a life? How can I speak to that person who is drowning in depression? How can I speak to the person that doesn't want to work out today? You see my point? So When it is that kind of excitement, you're literally not going to be able to shut up. So I wanted to give you a couple little mindset, placements for this, because I'm not telling you it's going to be comfortable. I've been there, and I love how powerful you're going to feel growing through it if you give it a chance and if you do it, because your business very much so is built on social media. And look at it as your storefront. Okay, I feel like this is the best way to look at it. If I'm walking through a town center, I'm picturing the town center in Jacksonville, and I walk by the store, and I love this store, and I see in the storefront all of these amazing things, and I relate, and I'm like, wow, this is my place, this is my jam. I want that, or I want to be like that, or I can relate to that, and I see this in that storefront. And then I walk by the next day, and it's not there. And then I walk by the next day, and it's not there. And I'm not going to trust that store as much, especially if that store is talking to me behind the scenes about this amazing program and these amazing results. I'm not really going to believe that it's real, or maybe that they're taking it seriously, if I don't see them consistently showing up in their storefront. So you guys see what I mean by that? It is so important to build trust through your social media, because what happens behind the scenes, people are going to base off of what they see on your social media. So just be sure that, again, this is not about perfection. This is about showing up. This is about showing up to your business. And sometimes you might not feel inspired. You might not feel like you have a ton to say, but there is always a way to find that silver lining. And as long as you're doing a workout, reading personal development, drinking a Shakeology, and involved in our groups and being excited about the transformations happening, I promise you, you are always going to have something to share. It should either inspire, inform, or I can't remember the last one. I think it's entertain. Yes. Inspire, inform, or entertain. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.